This conference will now be recorded.
So what we are looking for is like a similar kind of goal. Everyone has a similar kind of goal. There are few goals what I had already explained here. So these are the few goals where we are planning to make our investment. Major reason of doing investment is kind of like child education planning. Sometimes we have child marriage. Sometimes we are planning for our retirement. Sometimes we are planning for our tax saving options. Sometimes we are planning for our passive income, so that we should only not will be dependent upon our salaries. Sometimes we want to buy house, car, all these kind of luxuries. For that we have to plan. Also for wealth creation, for long term investment kind of. So these are few similar goals. Anyone else, do you have any else apart from all these goals? Do you believe that there are different kind of goals to you? Some you have some different goals? Because what I have generally seen is that we all have a similar kind of goals. So we have like when we have a similar goal, what should be our approach is that we should invest in a kind of a stuff where we have a similar kind of goal. And generally what happens in mutual fund is that money is pooled. Money is pooled in the case of mutual funds. So this is basically a cyclical process in the case of mutual funds. So when we have a similar goal, like we want to plan for our children education. So there are ample number of peoples which are available in India or anywhere else, and they have a similar goal of planning for their child education. Now when we are planning for our child education, we are very much cautious about it, that our children should get best education. Second point is that whenever we are planning for our children's education, we just see that at least what we have not got in our life, our children should get that. So there is a connection of like emotional connection as well. So everyone everyone will think like this only, and then what will happen, that all the investors will come in, and all these investors, what they will do, that they will invest, they will give their money to a particular fund manager. Or you can see, you can say that like they will give their money to a, they will give their money to like a asset management company. Asset management company means like ICICI, HDFC, all these have asset management, all these are asset management companies. So we call it a AMC. So all these asset management companies, what they will do, that they will pool the money from different investors with a similar goal. So they will pool that money, and then afterwards they will appoint a fund manager, so that this fund manager will manage that fund, and he will invest in a particular security according to the goal. Like suppose if we are looking for our retirement purpose and we are very young at present, suppose we are at 25 30 kind of, and we are looking for our retirement purpose, it means we have a time of 30 years from here on. So when we have a time of 30 years, 25 years, 30 years, we will be able to take better risk. We are at a situation that we have a better risk taking capacity. So the fund manager will manage the fund in a way so that there should be a kind of return which will be generated. So when return will be generated, what will happen, that this return will be like again distributed to the investors, whatever the investors have invested, whatever number of people have invested, they will get this return from the fund managers. So this is a cyclical process which happens in every mutual funds. So in this mutual fund process, the thing is, main thing is that a fund should be selected on the basis of your goal. It should be not like we are randomly investing. There should be at least a goal. For that purpose you will be investing, and goal can be anything. Your goal can be anything. Your goal can be like your child education, your children's marriage, your retirement planning, your tax saving options, your wealth creation, your buying houses and car, or emergency fund creation, like that. At the present scenario, we are like in a very bad situation at present, and in these conditions we can say that emergency fund are like very important for us. So generally when I talk about emergency fund are kind of those funds which we use it in the case of emergency only. So at least 6 months should be the emergency fund, so that if you lose a job or something else happens to you, or like any worst situation happen, like in the case of corona, what had happened that most of the people have lost the job. Now someone who has emergency fund, he will survive for at least 5-6 months of period, or 1 year kind of period, he can stretch that. But if someone has no emergency fund, it is very difficult for him or her to even get that bread and butter as well. So whenever we are educated enough, and we have we are using all those, we have the privilege of using all those internets, we are doing investment, we are doing trading, we are, at least we are educated enough. So financial education is not being taught in the schools. So this can be one of the cases, this can be one of the case, like emergency fund is one of the most important thing. And for emergency fund you should at least keep 6 months. If it is 1 year, that is more better, but you should at least keep 6 months of your investment in a particular area. You can invest in mutual funds as well, but generally emergency funds are invested in the case of like bank account, FD or RD kind of, so that in the case of need you can easily take out that money and you can use that one. So emergency fund are like that kind of. Now anyone, you can say anyone, do you have any else goal in your life? Do you have any else goal in your life what I have already mentioned here? Like suppose if you are very young, like you will have a aspirational goal. Like sometimes someone can have a goal of like I want to visit through Europe, I want to visit to America kind of. So this can also be a goal, but generally why I didn't mention here, because at present scenario, in the condition of pandemic, we are not even like touching each other, and we are maintaining social distancing. So travel goal can be like delayed for at least till the time when the vaccine is not out for it. So that's why I have not included it, but it can be a goal as well. Travel can be a goal. It can be like you have to visit Europe, you have to visit America, you have to visit anywhere else. So that can also be a goal. Anyone else? Do you believe that anything else do you have in your goal in your life? Now, according to like these situations, when we have these kind of goals, so we will have a like a similar goal. So whenever we will be investing in the markets, whenever we are doing investing in the market, so the thing is that our goal is fixed. So there will be several people, like we have got 20-25 people at present. So some of you have also the same goal, like you have also retirement goal, and you have also tax saving kind of goal in your life. So when you are looking for tax saving options, uh, someone will invest like 10,000 rupees, someone will invest like 50,000 rupees, someone will invest like 1 lakh rupees kind of. So when you will be investing these kind of money, uh, if you are investing more you will be gaining more, if you are investing less you will be gaining less. Now there is a point about goal. Generally there are 4 points what we have to look for, and a goal is not a goal till it has these 4 points. So these are the 4 points what we have to look for in a goal. Whenever we are looking for a goal in your life, in your investment journey or anything else, these 4 parameters, These four parameters are like a base of a goal. It should be a specific. A specific means that if you are planning for your retirement, it should be focused upon that only. Second point is it should be measurable. Like any goal which is not measurable, it's not a goal. Third point, it should be achievable. Fourth point is the most important point. What I like is realistic. Now, why I am talking about realistic? Because sometimes people come into the market of stock market and they try investing 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, or 15,000 rupees in the market, and they try to make money very quickly. They want like 500 rupees on a per day basis with an investment of 10,000 rupees. Now, this is not a realistic goal. You will be getting a return of like a 10%, 15%, 20% on a monthly basis, 25%, 50% on a monthly basis. It is not possible. So this is not a realistic goal. This is just your desire. You just want that you should at least get a money of 500 rupees on a daily basis. So this is not a realistic goal. Realistic goal is like it should be like 2%, 5%, 6%, 10% is on a max for trading purpose also. Like yearly we are getting a return of like 4% in our saving account, even lesser than 4%. So when we are getting a return of 3.5% in our saving account, and we are expecting a return of 5% on a monthly, like this is too much now. So the thing is that it should be realistic. If it is not realistic, it means that that is not a goal. Now, one of the most important parameter to like look for a goal is like time. Time is one of the most important parameter. For time, what we have to do is that if we are like planning for our children education, and we don't know that when he is going to be graduated enough, or when he is going to look for higher studies and all, if we are not aware about time, it is not possible that that is a goal. So these four parameters, whenever you are investing or you are doing trading or whenever you are doing anything, these four parameters always keep it in your mind. These four parameters are like most important thing. It should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable. Like now, if you are you don't know climbing on mountains, and you have not trained yourself, and one day you are going to Himalaya and you will tell that I will be going to climb this mountain today. Is it possible? This is not achievable. Because what will happen that you will go 500 meters upward, and then there will be difficulty, and then you will be giving up. So goal should be achievable, and it should be planned. It should be planned. It should be not like random thoughts will not create a goal. So a realistic approach, a time bound manner, and it should be measurable, and it should be specific. These are the four parameters you should always have in your mind. Then only you should plan a goal for it. Now coming to the next point is, most of the investor ask me that when to start investing. Now a perfect answer for this is that there is no right time to start investing. Okay, like suppose if you are 15 years of age, that is also at that time also you can start investing. If you are 25, you can start investing. If you are 40, you can start investing. If you are 50, you can start investing. So there is no right time to start in this market or start investing. Why I am saying this? Because literally no one can predict the top and no one can predict the bottom in a market. If anyone is telling you that he is capable enough to like predicting the top and predicting the bottom, he is just telling you a lie. So what you have to look for is that you have to be invested, you have to keep yourself invested, so that when you will be investing for a longer term period, at least you will be like gaining, on an average you will be on a profitable side. Now timing can be one of the reason. It can be timed. I am not telling that it can't be timed 100%, but the thing is that timing will be like You can time it like 40% 50% can be like the criteria what I would like to give for the timing purpose. Now suppose what happens that when market goes down, when market was at 8,000 in the month of March, it had made a bottom of 7,500. What people were telling at that time, market will go to 6,500, market will go to 5,000, even I have seen targets of 3,000 as well. Now you tell me that if if he is that much confident enough, why he had not made money in the market? So predicting a bottom, and then what happened, you all know what happened afterwards. 7,500 market made a bottom and market rallied to 10,400 10,500 kind of. Now if you have started investing, like market was down almost 30-35% in the month of March, in my Telegram channel, in my on my pages, and in my various interactions with webinar and all, I have already told everyone that this is the right time to deploy the capital in the market. Even I have predicted a few months back that pharma will be the one sector where there will be a bigger growth opportunity for the short term opportunity. It was based upon Fibonacci tool. I had already shared that in the Telegram as well. If you will scroll up, you will get that as well. So we can't predict it. 100% prediction is 100% prediction is not possible. So when 100% prediction is not possible, what we can do, that we can deploy our 30%, 40%, or we can start investing when everyone is negative for the market. Whenever everyone is negative for the market, there will be a surprise which will be coming into the market, and market will be moving on a upside. When everyone is positive for the market, there will be a surprise in the market, and market is going to come down. So there is no perfect time to start investing. You can start from today onwards. Even if you are at 25, even if you are at 40, even if you are at 45, or even if you are at 50, 55, that is okay, no problem for it. Even you are retired enough, you can also start investing in few funds like debt funds and all. You can also start investing in that cases as well. So there is no perfect time for starting of an investment. You can start from today onwards, because no one knows that where market is going to move in next 5 years, 10 years and all. But generally, if you will see the previous curves of the market, you will analyze that market is generally moving on a upside. It's not a kind of 10,000 market is going to 2,000. So it will not like that. Now if you will ask about what can market do in coming 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, there might be some correction which can happen. But when you have a vision of 10 years, 15 years, then this correction will be like of no use. It will be of no importance to you when you have a vision of 10 years, 15 years and 20 years kind of. So this correction will be like it is of no use. So please don't focus on the short term opportunities, don't focus on short term like fall of the markets and all. Focus on like long term opportunities. Like when you are looking for your retirement, when you are looking for your goals of like children education, children's financial planning, all these kind of stuffs are like long term opportunities. So when you are looking for long term opportunities, what you have to do, you have to start from today, and you have to plan it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years kind of. So please don't think that when market will come to 6,500, then I will start investing. I can bet that when market will come to 6,500, then also you will be scared, like market is coming to 6,500 and looks like market will go to 5,000. So I will wait. When market will come to 5,000, I will start investing. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. And then ultimately what will happen, that after few years when market will be again 12,000 and 13,000, then you will be thinking that now market is going to move on an upside, now I will start investing. So when market was at 9,000 and 8,000, you are not confident enough to start investing. When market has already moved up to 13,000, 15,000, then you have started investing. So this is the problem of too many people. So there is no right time to start investing. You can start from today onwards. Now, how many of you are aware about different kinds of fund which are available in the market? How many of you are available about means know about it, that what are the different kinds of funds available in the market to invest in, and what kind of funds we should choose in? I had already shown this image. This is a cyclical process. Generally, what happens that a investor is like pulling the money, and then it is giving to the AMC. AMC is appointing on fund manager. Fund manager is just investing that into the securities. Then the return is generated, and that return is given back to the investors. Quickly, I am just sharing you the details of few kinds of funds. So on the basis of the structure, there are three kinds of fund. It is open-ended fund, closed-ended fund, and interval funds. Open-ended funds are like those funds in which you can invest anytime. There is no time foundation in it. You can withdraw that money anytime. There is no time foundation for it as well. You can invest in it and you can always exit that. That is, there is no any time foundation for it. So these are all like open-ended funds. Closed-ended funds are like these are funds like it will have a specific opening period, that for a time being it will get opened, and then you will be investing in that, and then afterwards it will be closed. It will not be open for investing. So these funds will be like closed-ended funds. Generally, closed-ended funds are advisable when you are doing a lump sum investment. Now, do you understand this lump sum investment and SIP process? Do you understand SIP and lump sum processes? What is the meaning of SIP and lump sum processes? Okay, so some of you know. I'm just briefly briefing it out. Like SIP is like a regular kind of investment. Like suppose if you want to invest 1,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees on a monthly basis, that is known as SIP. And suppose if you are doing like one-time investment, that is known as lump sum. Now, falling NAV means there is a net asset value of a particular fund. Like consider it as a example of stock prices. So there will be a like NAV of a particular fund. So when we are doing SIP, when market is moving on a upside, ultimately when we are buying, what is happening is that we are buying on a upper area as well, and whenever market is falling, we are again when market is moving on a downside, what is happening, that we are again buying it. So SIP is a kind of process we are accumulating on every step. Even if market is moving on a upside, even if like moving on a downside, we are just like buying it, and we are making like dollar cost averaging. In the terms of finance, generally we call it as a dollar cost averaging. It means that whenever market is even when market is going down, what will happen, that NAV value will fall down. When NAV value will fall down, what will happen, that you will buy bigger unit. So suppose you are doing investment of 5,000 rupees and NAV of a fund is like 100, and you are investing in that, and market is falling down. So you have not reduced your investment, and now the NAV has came to 80. So ultimately the quantity what you were buying at 100, that will be increased. So in a falling market, SIP is recommended. And in a like growing market, when market was in bull rally in the month of 2014-16, what you can say, in 2014 to 16 kind of period was like bull rally was going on, new IPOs were coming, and everything was happening in the market. Anything whatever you buy was moving on a upside only. So in those scenarios, lump sum can be one option in which you will be investing a major chunk. Second thing is time of investment. So generally when we are doing SIP, what is the point is that when we are investing in the on the basis of SIP, we are immune to volatility. It means even if market is moving on a downside, we are buying bigger quantities. Even if market is moving on upside, we are buying lesser quantities. but in every dip we are buying, and in every up move we are also buying. So generally in the case of SIP investment, volatility is reduced. So for long term investment, I had always preferred SIP over lump sum, but there are certain scenarios, like suppose if you are not a, if you don't have a fixed salary and there is a fluctuation of salary which is coming in every month, or sometimes you get a money even after 6 months and all. So in that case SIP is difficult. So what we can do is that in that case we can only do lump sum, because there is a very difficult for some person that he will be investing 5,000 rupees on a monthly basis as well, because he might get 1 lakh rupees after 6 months, but it is difficult for him to continue with the SIP. So it also depends upon you that how you are comfortable. Now risk, if you will talk about, generally in the case of SIP it is low to moderate, and in the case of lump sum it is a moderate to high, because when you are doing lump sum you are also looking for timing the market. If you have if you have done a lump sum investment at the top of the market, what will happen, that after your investment market is coming down. So that's why there is a high risk, and I have seen many people doing this mistake. So it is like one of the important thing to like see these things, that what is the risk appetite you can cover, what in which category you comes to. So that is one of the thing. Now another point is continuous growing market. I had already told you example of 2014 to 16, it was like a continuous growing market. So lump sum was recommended, we can do investment of lump sum investment in that kind of market. But generally I don't prefer, because at the time of 14-16, who were aware that market is going to touch 10,000 and 11,000 and 12,000. So at that time also SIP could have been a best bet, what I can say. Second is uncertain future income. When you have uncertain future income, I have already given the example for it. So in that case SIP is not recommended, but lump sum is recommended. Cost of investment is less. In the case of lump sum it is like higher, uh, some expenses are there for also investing, although it is very less one, but there are kind of lump sum investment in which there will be like more cost of investment. So now I was on the slide of closed-ended funds. So in closed-ended funds, generally what we do, that we look for lump sum investment options, and when there will be a lump sum investment options, we can always look for closed-ended funds. In that fund, what will happen, that you will not will be able to even take out that money before that maturity. There are certain funds like that. If you are taking that out, there will be like some taxes of exit load will be there, so that you have to pay that at one. So these are kind of like closed-ended funds. Then the third category is interval funds. Interval funds are like those funds which are mixture of closed-ended and open-ended funds. It might get opened for a particular time period, then again it will be closed, and then again it will be open, like that. So these are similar to closed-ended funds, where you cannot purchase redeem unit frequently. Frequency will be like less in these cases. So interval funds are kind of mixture of closed-ended and open-ended funds. So this was on the basis of the structure. And if you will like go for like on the basis of investment option objective, then there are four kinds of funds which are available. These are growth funds, income funds, money market funds, and balance funds. Now I am briefing it out so that it will be easy for you. Now for the basis of like growth funds. So growth funds are like, suppose whenever you are investing in a mutual fund, ultimately that fund manager, if he is buying equity, I am just talking about equity at present, generally growth funds are for equity only. So whenever that fund manager will buy a stock, it might happen that that stock in which we have already invested, our money is invested, that will give a dividend. So when it will give a dividend, what will happen, that that dividend will be reinvested. It is not like that dividend will be paid out to you. So this is the major difference between growth fund and income fund. Now suppose someone who is at 50 55 kind of, and he is going to retire in the next 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or so. So when he is going to retire, he require a regular income even after his retirement. So if he will opt for a growth fund, if he will be going for a growth option, what will happen, that the investment what he is doing, that will be again reinvested in the fund only. So this is not a good option for a person who is going to retire in coming 5 months, 6 months, 5 years, 10 years, like that. So whenever we are looking for a regular income, we look for income oriented funds. Now it can be equity oriented also, it can be debt oriented also. So it can be of any kind. So whenever we are looking for a long term opportunities, when we are planning for retirement, when we are planning for child education and our children is at age of 5 6 years, whenever we are planning for what I can say, wealth creation. So whenever we are planning for our wealth creation, we will be opting for growth funds. So growth fund will be the option where we have to look for. We don't have to go for income oriented funds. Income oriented funds will be only there where we want a regular income. So when we require a regular income, we have to go for income oriented funds. Now money market funds. Money market funds are like short term opportunities. Suppose if you have a surplus amount of 1 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, like that, and what is happening is you just want to uh, invest that money because you don't require it for the next 1 2 year, and you just want to invest that money, and you don't want to invest in an FD, you just want to you are just looking for some another options. So money market is one of the best option. Generally these funds are like those funds where there will be a like a lesser uh, duration of maturity. So a fund which has a lesser than 365 days of maturity, that will be known as money market funds. And generally these are less risky funds. Growth funds can be more risky because it is related to equity, it is related to like mid cap, small cap and large cap kind of. But generally money market funds are very less risky. They are investing in treasury bills, they are investing in corporate bonds, they are investing in some junk bonds as well. But money market funds are less risky. But sometimes when we are investing in corporate bonds, as there was one scenario of in the recent time, we have seen that there was one scenario that debt funds also was not performing from many years, so that's why mutual fund house was closing that debt funds. So that should also will be in your mind when you are doing planning for your investment and all. You also have to keep that in mind. So debt funds are also not a kind of 0% risk, and there is a risk, but generally there is a lesser risk in the case of money market funds. Now balance fund is just an example of combination of growth funds, income funds. So there will be like when you just want to invest in equity as well, and you want to invest in uh, debt funds as well, it will be like balance funds. Sometimes there is funds of funds. Funds of funds is kind of fund where your fund manager is investing in some another fund. So that will be like one of the kind of mutual funds as well. So basically I have just shared you what is the basics of investment objective. On the basis of investment objective, what are the different kinds of funds available, and according to your age and according to your risk taking capacity, it should be like uh, decided that where you want to invest in it. Funds of funds, Toshish, it is like a fund manager is investing in different fund. So there is already a fund which is in a particular mutual fund, and your money is invested in different funds. So it is a kind of funds of funds. There are different funds of funds in Motilal Oswal. You can visit their website. There will be like uh, many options available. So now let's talk about that what is the steps of doing financial planning and how we analyze this uh, category of the investor, that in which category you are in. So you are in like risk averse category, you are in like a moderate category, or you are like very less kind of risk taker. So the very first parameter will be like it will be like your age. Whatever age you are in, if your age is less, it means you have like more risk taking capacity. If you have less responsibility, if you have no debt means if you are not paying any EMI or house or car loan or like that, your risk taking capacity will increase. If you have a stable job, like you are doing a government, you are a government employee, or I can say government servant, that is the right word generally. So when you are a government employee, what is the thing is that you have more stability. So when there is more stability, there is like a high risk taking capacity. When there is less risk taking capacity, when there is more responsibility on you, you are the loan earner of your family, then there is a high risk, there is a like one of the option is like you have to opt for some investment where there is less risky. Another case is like if you have a less capital. Now if you have a less capital of 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 like that, and some of you come in the market and you want to make money from 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 on a daily basis, and ultimately you lose that 10,000, 20,000 as well. It is better to put that 10, 20,000 rupees money in mutual funds. That will be one of the best option what you can do. So there are different kinds of mutual funds I have just shared here. So by structure, I had already discussed it. By investment objective, equity, debt, money market, gold can be four options. Now equity, there is a bifurcation of large cap, small cap, mid cap, multi cap, sectorial and thematic. Now the problem with investor in mutual fund is that they are too much confused because there are too many options. Because there is too many option, problem is that they don't know that what is right for us. So first of all, you have to analyze your situation, that in which category you are falling. You are coming in like a risk taker category, you are coming in like risk taking category, or you are coming in like uh, you have less risk. You are like you don't want to take much of a risk. So first of all, you have to analyze your own situation, and then you have to decide that what is the goal, why I am planning to invest, what is the goal for it, and how much time I have, and whatever is the return I am expecting, is it possible to get that return in that much time. Even if it is not possible, how much maximum amount what I can get in this particular time. So on the basis of this, you have to select the fund. You have to go for equity, you have to go for debt, you have to go for money market, or you have to go for like gold and gold ETF kind of. Now debt funds are kind of like funds in which we are looking for a stable income, or we when we don't want to take much of a risk, when we are very less risk taker, then we go for debt funds. When we are like a high risk taker, we go for equity. Now in equity also, if we are like very young and we are like want we just want to invest and we want to take return, even if your investment is going 30% 40% down, that is okay for you. So for that kind of purpose, you should look for like small cap funds. Now the problem with selection of the fund is that there is one fund in which you are investing, like you are investing in a blue chip fund, and also you are investing in a large cap stock. Now if you are investing in large cap fund and you are investing in blue chip fund, the thing is that you are ultimately investing in a particular share only by just two way. So this is one of the major problem with many investors. What I have seen, what they do, they think that they are doing diversification, but ultimately this is not a diversification. Ultimately you are over diversifying yourself. So there is no need to over diversify. If you will be doing over diversification, what will happen, that ultimately your money will be going into the same stock. It will be going into the same stock by just two ways, three ways, four ways. Let me quote one example. I have one friend who is investing in Mirai Asset Large Cap Fund. He has investment of 90,000 rupees. He has also an investment of ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund. Now if you will see the holding of Value Discovery Fund and if you will see the holding of Mirai Large Cap Fund, ultimately both of the funds have similar kind of a stock. Out of 10 stocks, 7 stock is similar. Like in the large cap fund also there will be Infosys, there will be Maruti, there will be Eicher Motor, there will be TCS. So these stocks are similar. So when stocks are similar and you are investing from two ways, you are also giving money to Mirai, you are also giving money to ICICI Prudential. So what is happening, that ultimately you are investing in the same stock. So this is not advisable. You have to look for that what is the holding of that particular fund. If the stocks are clashing in different kinds of funds, if the stocks are clashing and it is common, then it is not a right kind of diversification. Now second point, there can be like a small cap fund of two different company, like SBI also have a small cap fund, HDFC also have a small cap fund. So when there is a similar kind of fund, you have to look for the holding. In the small cap category also you have to look for the holding. Now what happens, that people see that HDFC has given 15%, 20%, 25% in the last 5 years. Now SBI has not performed, they are investing in HDFC. Now first thing what you have to look for is, past performance is not a guarantee of future performance. In mutual fund cases, generally what we do, we go to different website, we see the star rating, we look for star rating. What is the star rating of that particular fund? Let me show you that. It will be more easy for you. You can easily cope up with. Now here I have taken a website of Money Control only, and in the case of Money Control, if you will see, now this Kotak India Equi Contra Fund is showing you a 5-star. Now the thing is, if you are just investing on the basis of the star, this is not a right approach. Do not invest on the basis of star. So 5-star is nothing, it is just based upon like Money Control looks like this is a 5-star kind of category. He is suggesting you like a 5-star kind of category. So this is not like once your criteria should be not like you are investing on the basis of the 5-star. A fund can even perform even if it is rated 1-star or 2-star. Do not look for previous kind of star rating and all, and then you are investing on that cases. Second point, what you have to look for the investment purpose is, if you are investing in a particular fund where AUM is very big. AUM means asset under management. Now for example, this is Axis long term equity growth, and it has a AUM, it is an ELSS fund. ELSS funds are generally used for like tax saving, equity linked saving scheme we call it, and these are used for tax saving purposes. So whenever there is a large sum, AUM is very large, always be cautious about it. Whenever there will be a huge sum of money which is coming into a fund, it means people are investing in that fund only because it has performed great in the past future. Now you analyze, when you have a capital of 50,000 rupees, you can take a trade of 50 shares, 100 shares, 200 shares kind of. But when you have a capital of 5 crore, and if you are not comfortable enough to manage bigger quantity, it will not will be possible for you to manage bigger quantity. So this is the same scenario. It can happen with like those funds as well. So whenever there was a fund of 1000 crore, 2000 crore coming into it, fund manager can easily apply that fund into the market and he can get the return. But when the fund is like 1000 crore, 1500 crore, like here you can see 19126.58 crore is the total AUM, and in the ELSS category Axis has performed very well in the past, so that's why it is showing you like it has a bigger amount which it has given. You can see that in the 10-year return it has given like 14.51% kind of return, and in the different ELSS category this is one of the highest return giving fund. So that's why people just putting money blindly into the Axis long term equity funds, ELSS funds. So always be cautious when there is a higher AUM. So when there is a lesser AUM, it is easy for a fund manager to manage. When there is a higher AUM, it is difficult for a fund manager to manage. It can be difficult. I am not telling you that fund manager can't manage it, but generally it can be difficult. So you have to be cautious about it. Second, do not ever invest on the basis of this 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. This is not at all important. 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. What is the point of this 1 week, 1 month, 3 months? If you are investing in mutual funds for 3 months of period, there is no need to invest in it, because there is no guarantee of performance in mutual funds as well. Now, so at least you have to look for 3 years and 5 years category. When you are looking for 3 years and 5 years category, then it will give you a particular view that how this fund is getting managed and what has been the performance of it. When market will move up, ultimately everything will move on a upside and it will give you a positive return. So 1 month return, 3 months return is not at all important. You have to at least see a performance of 3 to 5 years kind of. Then only you should decide that what is the performance of this fund. Apart from this, always look for average return. Do not go for higher return. When you are selecting a mutual fund, always look for average return. Average means what? A return between 10% to 12% is a kind of return which I generally see it as an average kind of return in the mutual funds. Why I am telling you to go for an average kind of return? Because when you will be chasing a return which is 15%, 16% kind of, it might not perform in the coming future. But if it is giving you an average return of 6 to 8%, 10%, at least that fund is managed well and that fund is giving at least better return according to the inflation and your investment perspective of banks, FD and all. So you have to think like that, where there is an average return, where there is a return of 8 to 10% kind of 8 to 10%. If it is better than, now the funds what we are looking for is generally large cap stocks what we are looking for. If you will see details, there will be some small cap funds as well. Now you can see this one, Axis small cap. Here let me mark that one. This one, Axis a small cap fund. So this is a small cap fund. You can see now this is not showing you a 10-year return because it was not available 10 year before. So this has given 8% kind of return in the next 5 years. So always look for average kind of return. Do not chase higher returns. If you will chase higher returns, what will happen? That it might happen that in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, the fund which was performing very well, that might not perform in the coming future. Now at present scenario, we are very negative about banking sector. We are very negative about PSU. We are very negative about NBFCs. We are too much negative about it. Now, if you will be very negative about all those things, the surprise package will come from these markets only, from these scenarios only. Surprise package will be from this one only. So there might be a case that banks will perform better than large cap funds. Bank can perform better than some thematic funds. Thematic funds means theme based, like you can say IT. So the performance which is down, now I am not telling you to be contra every time. For long term investment, we have to look for equity, we have to look for large cap, mid cap combinations. But I am just telling you the view that how you have to look for the funds. So when you have to look for the funds, you have to see that how this fund had performed in the past and what is the AUM of this fund, and always be skeptical about all those things when it is just pushing you. When someone is pushing you something, please understand that this can't be right. Product can't be pushed. Product can be purchased, but it can't be pushed. My motto is also not to push you any product. I never push any kind of product. But the thing is, whenever you are doing investment, always see all these kind of things. Okay, so these are the certain parameters of choosing a particular fund, and on the basis of that, according to your risk taking capacity, you can choose the fund and then you can plan for the goals. So these are important parameter. Now, one of the most important thing and one of the most what I can say, that should be the at least minimum thing which you should be which you should have in your portfolio, and that is index fund. Index fund are those in which they are investing in index only. So this can be like Nifty 50 index fund, it can be Nifty 100 index fund, it can be like a Nifty 200 index fund. Why I am talking about index fund is because when you will be when you will see that when I am talking about index fund in a long run, I am talking about, generally in India, index funds are not popular. Okay, index funds are not popular. Why index funds are not popular? Because we are already a growing economy, and when we are a growing economy, the thing what happens is that generally large cap funds generally give better performance than index fund. So that is known as, in the term of mutual funds, that is known as alpha. So suppose there is a base of Nifty 100. I am just showing you one fund. So this is the Nifty 100 index fund. So when you will see this fund, there will be a base, that on the basis of what this fund is getting calculated. So if there is a base, like it will have a base of what you can say, that Nifty 100 index fund will have a base. So it will be calculated on the basis of that only. So if we have a base of Nifty 50 or Nifty 100, then we can say that these funds are like performing well, or they are just replica of the index. So if you will see Nifty 100 index fund, benchmark indices can be like a Nifty 100, and if a particular fund performs better than its benchmark indices, we just say that it has a alpha. There is a alpha which is being generated. So suppose let's take an example कि कोई इंडेक्स फंड कोई ऐसा फंड है, जैसे कोई लार्ज कैप फंड है, और उस लार्ज कैप फंड का जो बेस है, जो बेंचमार्क है, वो निफ्टी 50 है, एग्जांपल मैं बता रहा हूं आपको, और निफ्टी 50 ने पिछले एक साल में 10% का रिटर्न दिया. तो अगर निफ्टी 50 ने एक साल में 10% का रिटर्न दिया और उस लार्ज कैप फंड ने एक साल में 15% का रिटर्न दिया. So suppose if in fund has given 15% return and the benchmark of that fund has given a 10% return. So the difference between the benchmark and the return of the fund, that will be known as alpha. So this is known as alpha. So generally what happens in India, that still we are able to, fund managers are able to generate those alpha. So when they are generating those alpha, people don't go for index fund. But if you will look for a long term opportunity, if you are looking for 20 years, if you are looking for 25 years, even if you don't have anything in your portfolio, you are not yet holding any stock, you don't know anything about market, you don't understand anything about a stock market, index fund should be in your criteria. If index fund is there, what is happening, that suppose we are in a pandemic situation at present, is this is going to continue for a 10 years period? Even if this is going to continue for a 10 years of period, this market will be stuck at 10,000. This is for sure. Even if there will be a correction of 4,000 point, 5,000 point, market comes to 5,000, market comes to 4,000. Even if market comes to that point, market will give you such a bounce in the next 10 years, in 15 years, that it can triple or it can quadruple. It can like 5 times, 6 times also. So this is the scenario what you have to look for. So if anything will not perform, index will perform, and if index is performing, it means your return will be at least on a safer side. So even if a index is not performing, what will be the maximum fall? In 1 year there can be a maximum fall of 5%, 10%, 20% kind of. Like in the 2020 we are already down like 25-30% from the top. So if we start investing from here on and we are looking for a period of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years kind of, then there is no question of that market will not perform. Market is going to perform for sure. Nobody can question it. And if market is going to perform, index fund is going to perform. And if index fund is going to perform, your return is secure in that for a 25 years of period. So even if you don't know anything about market, you are not aware about anything about market, you don't know stocks, you don't know investment, you are very zero about market, index fund should be in your portfolio. This is my advice. You can buy any index fund, you can buy Nifty 50, you can buy Nifty 100, but according to me Nifty 100 is a kind of good shape. I have already advised few of you, and a few of you are already investing in it, and this is for a longer term period. So hope I am clear about fund selection, hope I am clear about like uh, investment opportunities and all. Now let me talk about how we calculate uh, according to like if we are looking for a long term opportunity, if we are looking for educational planning and all, or if we are looking for anything kind of. So let me just show you that what can be the return, or what kind of return we can generate. So I will just take one example. So I'm just taking one example of marriage goal calculator, and then I will be showing you that. Okay, so my screen is visible to all of you. The Excel is visible to all of you. So in the current scenario of pandemic, people are not investing too much in marriage, but let's suppose, I'm just taking one example. Let's suppose like this is one example what I am just already written it there. So let's suppose 20 lakh, or 20 lakh is very large sum, but generally let's see 20 lakh is the amount, what is the cost of the marriage at present. And if you have years of marriage, like you want to marry your daughter in next 5 years, next 10 years kind of, so you can always put that. So suppose if I have a 10 years kind of or 15 years kind of time for me, and then I am planning for it. So inflation cost of marriage, there will be some inflation cost which will be coming into it. So if there is an inflation cost of like 10%, I have considered, like it is moving up by 10%. So future cost will be like this one. This will be the future cost. Now gold cost is around 44,000. So let it be 50,000. I'm just considering it. Inflation of gold is considered at 7%. It can be like it might be not be the scenario in the coming future, but according to the Excel, we have to just put those data. I'm just showing you for the demo purpose. So cost of the gold marriage is like this one. So total cost will be this one. So we have to plan for uh, these things. Now at present time, whatever the asset is available, if we have, if we don't have any investment, we have to plan for this much money. If we have some investment, we will be like if we have invested some money in some another place and we are planning for it to invest that money in marriage purpose only, so we can assume that what will be the investment and what kind of in growth we can expect in that investment. So corpus will be like this one. So total additional corpus will be like this. So if we are expecting a return, if we are expecting a return of 8%, 12%, 15% kind of. Now 8%. Now if we have 15 years, we have to at least go for 12 to 15%, not to 8%. Why? Because we have 15 years. In 15 years, we have a ample years. We have a, like 10-15 years is more than enough. So 12-15% is not higher return. We are expecting on a lesser side as well. So it can be achieved. Anything between 12 to 15% can be achieved. So what is the monthly investment required? It is required at 17,000 or 13,000 kind of. And if we are expecting 15,000 rupees, our goal will be achieved. If you are looking for one sum, like lump sum kind of investment, or if you are looking for yearly kind of investment, this can be the amount which is looking for. So 15 years, we have to look for 12 to 15 combinations. So this is how what we do, like we plan investment. And you can always go for different website as well. When you will go for different website, you will be able to calculate all those things. So you have to play with it. All these things are available for free of cost. Excel might not be available, but different website will give you different options. I will show you some example of it, so that it will be more comfortable for you. So I'm just taking some example of like SIP calculator. So how much SIP amount per month? So suppose you want to start in index fund. I am taking an example of index fund. And suppose you want to start with 5,000 rupees from today onwards, from this month onwards. And you are planning for your retirement, and you are 25, 30 kind of, or 35 kind of. So if you are 30, 30 years is at least left for your retirement. So 30 multiplied by 12, it will be 360 months. So this is 360. Okay. And you have not started yet, so please keep it 0. And if we are expecting expecting a return of 12%, which we can expect from index fund, 10 to 12% can be the return which can expect. Generally index has given return of anything above 10% and anything below 15% kind of. So now see the future value. The total investment is of this much amount only, total growth is of this much, and your total future value is this much. So this is power of compounding. Hope you understand this power of compounding logic. So power of compounding is one of the eighth wonder of the world. Generally we ignore power of compounding, and we generally what we do is that We just blindly make an investment, and so the Excel is visible to you. This is power of compounding. I am just telling you. Whatever the tool I was sharing on the website, this is the same thing. So investment, like suppose for an example, 10,000 rupees you are investing. So if you are investing 10,000 rupees monthly basis, time of origin 30 years. Okay. So this will be the future value which will be coming to. You can use it on the website as well. You can always look for the website as well. It will be more easy for you, because Excel is might not be available easily to you, but website is easily available to you. So if you will see this much amount, if you have this much amount, so you can easily check that what kind of calculations what we can do. There are different calculations which can be available on different websites as well. You can use this one as well, or you can use different website. There is no issue for it. Now suppose if you want to calculate future value, now if you are investing 1 lakh rupees, and there will be a yearly annuity of 1000, rate of return is at 10%, time of origin 5 years. So this will be the future value which will be coming to. So you can always play with the calculators, you can always go with it, and then you can always analyze that what kind of funds we are looking for and what kind of funds we should invest in. So I have already shared most of the things to you. Now I had already told you that there is no right time to start investment. You can start investing even if you have missed few years. If you are at a very young age, please do start investing. It will be better for you. And if you have, suppose you are 30, 35, 40 kind of, that is not at all a problem as well. At least if you will start, definitely what the growth, what was the growth you were expecting, that might not be the case, but at least you will be, at least you have started it. It means it is better late than never. So please don't think that at a right time you will be starting the investment and all. There is no right time for investment. It is now, and it will always will be now only. Now how to invest, how to like how much to invest, how to invest, I have already shown you the calculators, that how much money you have to invest, and how to invest is a kind of SIP and lump sum. I had already discussed it, so I am not going detailed into it. Now I will be just covering the last topic. I guess this is visible because I have used the template what I am already saying. Is it visible to you? Basically it is very light, so that's why okay. So I am talking about tax saving. So suppose we all are working, and tax is one of the worst thing we don't want to pay to the government. But generally we can plan our tax. Now for mutual funds investment, there are few options like ELSS. ELSS means equity linked saving scheme, where there is a lock-in period of 3 years. It will be a lock-in period of 3 years, and whatever the amount you will be investing in that, that will be covered under 80C, and till 1.5 lakh under 80C. Under 80C you can always look for like 1.5 lakh you can invest in it. So ELSS is coming under that. Second is pension funds. There are few pension funds offered by mutual funds also. It will work as a pension funds when you are retired and all. So it will work as a pension fund. So if you are investing in a pension funds also, this will gives you like a tax saving opportunity. But again, there is a caption of total caption is of 1.5. So if you are like investing uh, in already in ELSS, and you are also investing in pension fund, and it is already up to 1.5 lakh, then it will be possible for you to go for that. So 80C, under 80C I am talking about, these are the options which are available. So ELSS is one of the option. Second option is pension fund. Third option is ULIP plans. ULIP can be of insurance. ULIP plans can be of insurance, in which you will be getting a tax benefit. you will get an insurance of this one, you will get an insurance as well, and you will also get a opportunity of investing in the markets as well. So ULIP are those kind of plans. Then there is a fourth option, it is of NPS. I guess if you are working in a good organization already, you will be having a NPS account, and when you will having there are two kind of account for NPS, tier 1 and tier 2 account. So NPS is also like you can always invest in that as well. So that will be another one which from where you can save your taxes. Apart from this, there are few more options like term insurance is one of the option, endowment is another option, money back plan is another option. If you are investing in that, all are covered under ATC. PPF, you already know there will be a lock-in period of 15 years. This is one of the like disadvantage of PPF, but generally there is no risk in PPF, and 7-8% kind of return. But generally if you are like risk averse risk takers and you want to like invest in a market where you can also utilize the criteria of equity investment, then you can always opt for ELSS. There is only a lock-in period of 3 years there. So better, it is better if you are a bit of risk taker as well, it is better to go for ELSS funds rather going for PPF. But then also you can do for PPF as well. Then there are national saving certificates, you can invest in that, you can buy that from post office, and then you can invest in that. Apart from that, there is 5 years fixed deposit. If you have to save for tax purpose, you can do a FD, but it should be of minimum 5 years, then only you will be getting the tax benefit. Apart from this, whatever the earning, whatever the income you will be getting from the FD, that will also will be taxed. So please keep this in mind. There are few post office deposit schemes as well in which there is tax benefit. You can always invest in that. Senior citizen saving schemes, there are senior citizen saving schemes also. If you have a child, if you have a like a female child I am talking about, so there is one option of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana where there is a return of 8.6% kind of, and for till 21 years you can invest in that. Yes, national saving certificate is also a option, Bharat, you can invest in that, but all these are covered under ATC. So ATC there is a caption of 1.5 lakh, so till 1.5 lakh you can save your thing. Apart from this, 80D comes to health insurance of your family, of yourself kind of. So 80D will be covered under like tax benefit as well. So under 80D you can also claim that. So there are these are the major options where we have to look for investment if we are looking for like tax saving purposes. So this is all from me as of now. I have shared a basic knowledge. There is no product pushing. I had already told you that I generally don't push products. Now if you wish, you can invest by yourself, or if you wish, you can take the guidance from me. Basically I am a registered mutual fund distributor as well, but there is no foundation to go along with me. But you can always go for the fund selections, that is up to you. So this is all about the things what I wanted to share to you. So now always plan according to all these steps and then go for fund selections and all.